kidding.
Oh my gosh, you got it.
He's adjourned.
Oh, he's on the clock. Sorry. Forgot to grab my phone.
Rob, do you want to lead us in the pledge? Or not Rob, Matt, you want to lead us in the pledge? Because Rob will do the prayer.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Rob, you want to?
Sure. Father God, thank you for this opportunity to gather together here for this meeting, Lord. Lord, allow us to honor you in everything we say and we do. Lord, just give us the wisdom to move forward in this township and just to make wise decisions. And we pray this all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, we'll start off with clerk calling the roll.
All right, here we go. Trustee Adolph. Here. Trustee Rivera.
Here.
Trustee Bonomo.
Here.
Trustee Conley.
here.
Supervisor Ballich.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, there's our public comments.
0. None.
None. Okay. Clerk report.
Okay. I would like a motion to approve the December 13th, 2021 monthly township board meeting minutes.
I'll start the motion.
I'll second.
Conley? Okay. All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Motion passes. All right.
The supervisor's report. We want to welcome our new assessor, Karma Morella.
Thank you.
He's been here all week, and we've been working, cleaning up the office and getting all his people sworn in as deputy assessors, different titles. So he's already out doing a good job.
Thank you, Carmen. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Carmen.
Okay. Just want to let everybody know, a letter was sent to the Will County Forest Preserve in opposition to killing the deer, which is known as deer culling, but I call it killing the deer because that's what they're doing. And then we need a motion to approve rental leases, including age requirements, increasing the age to 62 at the senior housing, and $1,200 per month for new applicants, not existing ones. So, we get a motion
I'll make the motion.
and a second,
I'll second the motion.
and then we have discussion.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of talk about this a little bit myself. I am totally in agreement with the 65 years old.
62.
I mean, 62, but I'm actually even fine with moving this up to 65. I mean, I don't know if it's really going to limit our market or limit the amount of applicants by raising it another 3 years. And because I think a lot of our seniors actually, I mean, most people are retiring about 65 years old, and it's a senior community. So, quick question, and I just so we get this on the record, because I know that I already know the answer to it, but this is not affordable housing, correct?
Correct.
It's not subsidized, no sort of subsidized housing, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so we're not really necessarily looking to make it dirt cheap.
Right.
Okay, so raising the price up to $1,200, that's we're on pace to raise it 5% a year, is that what it is?
Correct.
Okay.
Up, well, it's not necessarily 5, it's up to 5%.
Up to 5% a year? Okay. And that's already gone into effect this year, January 1st, correct?
Correct.
Alright, cool. That's,
So, yeah, just piggybacking what he was saying, what is the standard rate in other similar communities?
Well, we did a study before,
Yep.
and nobody had anything like ours. But everybody was more money,
Okay.
a lot more.
Yeah.
And when you look back into the records, our records say that this is not affordable housing,
Right.
it's senior housing. Well, that means that it was an age limit. And the age limit we have on it is 55. And they never raised the rent. They were supposed to raise it 5% a year, and they never did. So now we come to the end, we're like 25, 30 years later, I can't remember the exact number.
20 years later.
Well, everything's gonna start going.
Right.
So now we're gonna have to pay for it.
Okay.
So,
Now, I
maintenance,
did put in for $1.7 million from the county for AR, American Recovery Act money. Now, We get it or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm also working with the county. Yes, you know, when you're a supervisor and on the county board, you have access to a little bit more knowledge of what's going on. So I know we do qualify maybe for a CBD, Community Economic Development Grant, like we do with Lockport Heights Sanitary District. Well, I'm gonna try and get one for the senior housing, to see if we can get that money for that too.
So,
But,
sorry,
we don't know what we're gonna get.
right, so the $1,200 is trying to still be reasonable to the people that live here, and the only stipulation will be 62 resident of, current resident of Homer Township?
Well, right now it's 55, we're
Right.
gonna make it 62. And that, you know, I got that number from when I was talking with the county at the Community Economic Development Grant. They suggested that we do 62 instead of 65.
Okay,
But did they have a reason behind that?
I didn't ask.
No, okay.
I just-
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
I just look at it like, they told me that it's more advantageous to do that. And we have to have money, if we get it, we're gonna have to have money matching for some of this stuff.
okay.
So,
I just wanted to make one comment, if you don't mind, Steve, or the board. The $1,200 a month is for the new people moving in.
Correct,
The people that are there now
They're
are
still,
gonna continue to pay
correct.
whatever their
Yeah.
rent is, yeah. And then, I think with the grant, it has to be something like 62 and older or something like that, correct?
well, I was told to use the number 62.
Okay,
Yeah.
You know, so that's
So we
why
can
I'm
go
going
after-
with it.
our current monthly is $950 right now, right? As of January 1st? Okay.
As of March 1st.
March
It's-
1st.
it's gonna be
March
950,
1st, March
yeah.
1st, I'm sorry, okay.
Hi,
Okay.
okay.
So
Right.
it's really a situation where the rent would have been where we're talking about if it was
If
raised.
we were going up with the increases.
But it wasn't.
Yeah.
And we don't cry about spilt milk, right?
Mm,
We just move forward.
yeah.
Right.
So new
Yeah.
people pay 1,200. The existing people say all the same.
And considering that we're currently at, we're at that 20-year mark where things are obviously gonna start to
More
fail.
than 20.
20-plus years are gonna start to fail now. So we're
25.
gonna have a lot of costs that are gonna start coming in. When was the last time the roof was on that building?
The roofs were never really ripped off and stuff.
Okay.
So we're looking at new roofs. We're looking at, when we do the roofs, I
HVAC
want to
equipment
eliminate
too.
the skylights because they leak all the time.
Mhm.
So,
So we got a lot of costs coming up that we're
well,
gonna be
the
looking at
biggest
in the
cost, the
future.
roofs are a lot of money, but the heating and air conditioning is the big cost.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was told by Air Tigers, when they looked at the last unit, it'd be $12,000 to retrofit it for gas forced air. And that don't include increasing the size of where the unit has the furnace and all that stuff.
Okay.
And it's not, I don't even know if you call it a furnace, it's something else.
Yeah.
And I don't know the technical terms, it's a weird type of a heating system, and I'm not capable of talking about it because I don't understand it, I just know it's weird.
Okay.
So anyway,
And not to go off subject too far with it, but with the HVAC, I think we should probably start maybe considering a couple other contractors, take a quick look at that, just to
well, what'll happen is
be
if,
proactive. To be
we,
proactive for the replacements of this.
well, we know that Air Tigers is the only one that can get the parts and fix it now. There's only one company that makes this stuff.
Yeah,
So-
the contractors have access to the
So-
majority of those parts, we should probably be fine with that.
When it comes time, if we get some of this money from the federal government or the county, then we would go out and get, just like we do with everything.
Yeah.
We'll get prices and we'll get the best price and what the best job. I mean, this is in the infant stage right now, what I'm talking about, and there's no guarantee you get it. That's the other thing. Just because you apply, you know, I want $1 million too. I'll go outside and pick the money off a tree and
Yeah,
you think
right.
I get $1 million? I don't think so.
Right.
So that's kind of where we're at with this stuff. You're asking, they might give you all of it, they might give you a tiny bit of it, you know, but whatever it is, it helps us. So it was like when we went and redid the bonds, we ended up saving $240,000 over the period of, was it 4 years, I think, or was it 4 years, Vicki?
I think it was 4.
I think it was
Yeah.
4 years. So we saved $240,000 over 4 years by redoing the bonds, just lowering the interest rates. So this is similar to that, where we're gonna get money, but we just don't know the answer until the end. We didn't know it was gonna be the actual dollars until we got the bonds settled, right?
Right.
So this is the same thing. You apply for the money, and you hope you get it all, but we don't know. So, is there any other questions
I
about
was
it?
gonna say, until then, all repairs and maintenance are covered by taxpayer money.
Correct.
It's not government subsidized, so I think by the fact that, you know, we're raising the rent, but it's for new residents, not existing, it's a proactive approach, you know,
Correct.
and I think it's a smart way to go.
Brent's not talking yet, but he could tell you about the asphalt and the concrete that he oversaw the job. You know, 'cause he's an engineer, so he managed that entire job for us. And that was quite expensive too, right? So, I mean, when you get down to this stuff, you know, we have qualified people that can help us to get very good prices and keep prices down because we have skills within our own group that can handle a lot of this stuff and we don't have to pay extra money for it. And we can trust that they're gonna do a good job. So, is there any other questions or? Okay, then, you wanna call the?
Sure. So, Trustee Bonomo,
Yes.
Trustee Conley,
Yes.
Trustee Adolph,
Yes.
and Trustee Rivera.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
I'm a yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Oh, forgive me.
Aw.
Okay, Supervisor College.
Okay, and then, motion to allow the supervisor to go out for a request for quotes for engineering firms needed in the application process for the CBDG block grant for Founders Crossing Senior Housing and the Old Town Hall. So I have to, get an engineering firm, and, I know quite a few of them from the county, and I was told by, when you don't know what you're doing, you work real close with the people that do, just so you guys know what's going on. So I'm working with the person that handles the CBGD applications from the county. So I'm following what she's telling me and listening real carefully and going through the process. She said if we want to get it, we need to hire a firm to do an assessment, and they will fill out the paperwork for us and then submit it. And they think we have a good chance of getting some money. But that's where that is. But I can't move forward without you guys approving me to go out and get one of these firms. So, you guys got any questions or discussion on it?
No, my thing is, we trust you. I mean, you keep us in the loop and you keep us informed with every step of the way, so I see no problem with approving
Okay,
this.
then can I get a motion on it?
I'll start the motion.
I'll second.
I'll do a roll call. Trustee Conley,
Yes.
Trustee Rivera,
Yes.
Trustee Bonomo,
Yes.
Trustee Adolph,
Yes.
Supervisor College.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you.
Okay, then we have a motion to approve agreement with Lockport Heights Sanitary District to proceed with the next phase of improvements for the CBDG grant. That's the same thing we've been talking about, and this will probably be somewhere like the 12th year we've done this with Lockport Heights, and we're just a pass-through. So Lockport uses us to submit to the county and for the money, who submits it to the federal government. And they have an engineer, and they have a project manager and the whole bit. They fill all the paperwork out. We just make sure the paperwork's done right. I'll get the paperwork, look at it, then I'll give it to our lawyers, and they'll look at it. And once everything looks good, then we send it into the county. And we started on time, because I talked, this process is supposed to be turned in February. And I've already contacted the county, and they've already sent all the stuff over, and they're already working with Lockport Heights. So we won't run into problems like happened a couple years back, where everybody's on top of it. But we need a motion to move forward with that.
Motion?
I'll second.
Call the roll.
I'll call a roll, yes. Trustee Rivera,
Yes.
Trustee Bonomo,
Yes.
Trustee Adolph,
Yes.
Trustee Conley,
Yes.
Supervisor College.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Now we need a motion to approve Cindy Laha to the senior committee. That's a lady that's been helping Mike, and she does a great job. I've been at some of the meetings, and she's working her butt off, you know, so is Mike.
Yep.
So, can I get a motion to approve putting her onto the committee?
I will start the motion, probably.
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes.
A motion to approve the supervisor getting quotes for repairs for the old town hall. So, I gotta find out what it's gonna cost us, because then, when we know that number, then we can decide where we're at. Do we wanna bulldoze it? Do we wanna fix it? Do we wanna just add on to it? Whatever it is, but we gotta find out what it costs to fix the floor. So,
Motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
So
Oh,
for
okay.
discussion,
Discussion. Yeah.
So what is actually going on with the town hall right now?
the floor collapsed.
The floor collapse?
The underlayment did. So,
Okay,
Torm is our insurance company, and they said we have to replace the floor.
okay. So,
And the floor, all that stuff is like 80-something years old. The whole building is old.
mhm,
Now, just because it's old don't mean it's no good.
right,
So we have, yeah, but you know what? The odds of that happening aren't too good. So we haven't had it open now for about 7 months or 6 months, I don't know the exact time frame. But I was waiting till I got the information from the insurance company, because I just didn't want to send people out and tell me, hey, how much does it cost to fix it? And then not have the proper information. We've got the proper information now, and the insurance company says it's not covered, of course. So if we want to open the town hall back up, we got to fix the floor.
okay.
And
That the entire floor, or is it
The
just a
entire
section of the building? The whole entire floor, from the front door to the kitchen?
the whole floor got to come
Okay,
out.
wow.
Now, do we want to do that or not? That, you know, that's the question. That's why we got to get prices.
And then you'll bring the prices back to the board.
Yes, after we get the prices, like we always do, I bring them back here.
And there's no historic,
Because we're going to have a discussion about it. If they say it costs $50,000 to replace the floor, do we replace the floor? You know, I mean, you got an 80-year-old building. What else is going to break next?
Well, then the next discussion is what we're gonna do with the building, once
Well,
it's fixed. and
that's
or
what I'm
when
saying. We have to have a
Yeah.
discussion, a big discussion about that once we know the dollars. But we can't do it yet because we don't know the dollars. And if they tell us it's 5,000, tell them, go ahead, man, we'll fix it then maybe, right? Because that's not a lot.
Steve, you had another question?
oh no, no, the question was, there's no historic kind of like, there's no historical.
Significance?
Thank you, that was the word I was looking for. I was
The
gonna say
only thing
background.
that's historic there is next to the building, there's a flag that says Homer Men's Club of Responsible Government. And that was put up by the original, was Homer Founders Club, to change the name.
Uh-huh.
But it was 1980, I forgot now. It was in the 80s though.
But we could move that somewhere else.
So that, but that really isn't an historical thing, other
Okay.
than the fact, you
Memories.
know, it's a stone with engraving in it, so we can always move it,
Okay,
Yeah.
you know.
thank you.
So that's the update for that, but do I get a motion for?
We got the motion, we got the second, I'm just asking, is all in favor for?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Motion passes, thank you.
Hey, now it's the commissioner's report.
Hi, everybody, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
So winter is upon us, and we've had our first
Ice
snowstorm, and we've had our first ice storm. So, something I was gonna cover tonight anyways was, my first items, I wanna talk about snow removal and salting, I wanna talk about the thought process behind it, and I wanna talk about how I'm trying to spread knowledge on the website for the highway department, so people don't necessarily have to call. We got a flood of calls, of course, over the last week. As you know, in the IGA with Homer Glen, the duties of snow removal and salting was handed over to Homer Glen. However, I still hold responsibility for all of the unincorporated roads in the township. So when I want our roads salted or the snow removed, I get on the phone and I contact Homer Glen. I don't wait for them to tell me when they're gonna do it. So I want everybody to understand that, so they don't say, well, you know, it's their fault because they didn't do it. It's my responsibility, so if people want to know why their street's not plowed or when it's gonna be plowed, you call me, you don't call Homer Glenn. Because they won't answer the phone if it's pertaining to unincorporated, and they shouldn't. So, what I did this past week, and it's active now, is I added a tab to the Highway Department's website. It's called Snow Removal. So under that tab, I have a narrative explaining how it works, and also I have a map that shows who does what. Every street in unincorporated Homer Township is shown, every single one. And it shows what plow number, truck number, does every single street. So if you call in and tell me what street you're living on, all I gotta do is look on the map, see what truck number it is. I call Homer Glenn and I say, where's the truck at? Why aren't you out? Why didn't you do this street? So that's something that's on there right now. And as far as the pecking order for when you plow, obviously the arterial streets and the main streets are done first. That's the state of Illinois and that's the county roads. Those are always first. 143rd, Bell, Gauger, Cedar, 159th, all the big ones. Then in pecking order it goes down after that. Then you got the residential streets, then you have the dead ends, then you have the cul-de-sacs. Now, if what we do in the morning of plowing is we will call the school districts and see if they have school that day. If they don't have school that day, then the bus routes won't be prioritized. If there is school, we prioritize the bus routes, obviously, and the emergency routes. That's very important to get to the hospitals. Very important. What else can I explain? The use of salt. So we had a nasty sleet storm on Sunday. Even my dog fell on the ice going down the driveway. So we use about 50 tons of salt just for one application. That's just one time. We went 3 times already, just over those 2 days. So when somebody calls me, it's like, you didn't salt my street. We salted the streets. The thing is, the blended salt that we use is good to like 20 degrees below zero, which is what we used obviously because it was cold. But the roads that have more traffic, it activates the salt more. The tires push it into the ice and they spread it out. It's like the old brine solutions that they used to use. So sometimes cul-de-sacs in that aren't used a lot, they got to salt them more than once because there's not an efficiency in the cul-de-sacs and dead ends like there is on the main roads. So we got to be mindful about how much salt we use. We can't put down 6 applications every time it snows because we'll run out. So we have 500 tons that we bought for the season. So that if you do the math, 50 tons an application, you only have 10 in your budget and 10 that you ordered through the supplier. So we've used 4 of those already, just in the one storm. So we're trying to be efficient with when we salt, and that was a perfect decision. I mean, that was a no-brainer. We had to salt twice actually, just in the one day. But if we're going to have sunshine that day, like we did on Sunday, that will help melt it, we're not going to put more salt down. And people kept calling me, we got to put more salt down. No, we don't. I had an argument with a couple of people about it, but I'm trying to explain how we do things with snow removal and salt. So I'm hoping that helps explain things. Also on our website, we have a jurisdiction map on the Highway Department, similar to the one on the wall back there, where it's got colors for who does what streets for the whole township. So it'll have Lockport, it'll have New Lenox, it'll have Lamont, a little piece, it has Homer Glen, and in white it has the unincorporated Homer Township. So everybody knows who's responsible, so you can pick your street out on the map and you'll know who to call. And then it also has on the jurisdiction map page who does it for the state, who does it for the county. So the state and the county, I obviously have no control over. You have to go on their websites to contact them about timing and when they're coming out and things like that. So I hope I explained everything with snow removal and salting well enough. Permit status, item B for the build out. As you know, the building that we got from the previous administration was a shell of a building. It had gravel access, it had no sprinkler system, it had no bathrooms, it had no offices. It basically didn't have anything that we needed. So we're doing a build out now in 2022. We're going to permit for that. I'm going before the Planning Commission on the 20th to talk about the fencing. And then in February, we're going to submit the entire design package to Homer Glen for approval. And we're going to want to bid all this work out in April. That's the schedule. Item C, the 2022 roadway program. For 2022, in the budget, I set a line item of $350,000 for the budget for road improvements. After I did my rating last November on all the streets in the township that are unincorporated, there's, I think, 6 streets that total about a mile in length that I'm going to improve in 2022. The cost is going to be around $350,000. I also was looking at the Smith Road Bridge, which is a disaster. It's just north of Tameling Drive. I'm trying to get cost sharing on that bridge from Lockport Township and also from the city of Lockport. And if possible, if I get enough funding, I'll be able to also replace that bridge because it's on its last leg. I'm investigating doing just a deck replacement and not doing what Mike had did, which was he wanted to go to IDOT and pay a lot more money to have them do a phase 1 report and a phase 2 and a phase 3, and it probably takes 2 to 3 years for all that. We don't have time for that. We got to replace it now. So that's an item I'm going to try to get done in 2022. Item D, the Homer Township Highway Commissioner's Special Needs Grant. I had the pleasure of speaking on Channel 32 News and Fox News in Chicago this past Monday. They did an interview of me and I explained what this is. This is a grant for adults that are over the age of 18 that have special needs. And when you say special needs, what is that? That's an intellectual disability, like autism and things on the spectrum. And we have a $5,000 grant that we're giving to someone for that. Information on how to nominate someone who has to be from Homer Township is on the Homer Township website now, right, Vicki?
It is.
We have a link on the Homer Township Highway Department, and there's also a link on the Homer Glen Village website. So it explains how that works. We're taking applications through the end of February. The Ability Awareness Committee, run by Nicole Laha, is helping out immensely with this, and they're going to be screening the applicants with me. Also, Stacy from Homer Glen is doing a great job helping with the whole process and setting up the website and fielding calls. So if you know anyone that has special needs that's an adult, please send in an application. There haven't been very many that have been sent in, by the way. We started this back in December, and I don't know if it was the holidays or what, but we're trying to make the process as easy as possible, and I would appreciate if we could get more applications. In March, we will be having an awards banquet to hand out the grant money, and it goes to 5 finalists, not just the one that gets the $5,000, and it should be a fun affair. And it's going to be at Taza in Homer Glen. And I think that's everything. Thank you.
Thanks, Brent. Carmen, you have anything to say?
I do, actually. You know, I got my feet wet. It's only been 5 days. You know, there's not much to report. I mean, we're getting ready to anticipate assessing for 2022. And everybody's, you know, we're just delegating jobs and getting everybody moving. There was a little bit of cleanup in the office that we had to take care of. I mean, Karen was with us for 20 years. God bless her, you know. So we just did a little bit of cleanup, and we're just keep moving. Just keep moving along. So that's about it.
Okay. Now we'll go to the committee reports. The senior committee, Mike, do you want to talk about what's
Yeah,
going
sure,
on?
yeah. All right, I think we covered, you know, we had the Christmas party last month. It was a great success. And just recently conducted a meeting with, Rob was there, Sue Stalin and Amy Blank from the village side, with Cindy Laha, who has been appointed to the committee, and Cherie Kozo Laha, who is the Homer Township Library Executive Director. So we're bringing in different players, and we have a little game plan that we're putting together right now. So the second Tuesday of every month, we conduct our typical, you know, bingo sessions. And our plan is we're going to have like different types of activities for the seniors every month. So our plan is on the senior, when we have the senior bingo, we're going to have somebody come in and speak about their activity or profession that they could pass on to the seniors. So it's going to be like kind of a preview. And then 2 weeks from that day, we're going to do an actual event. For example, you know, when we'll take like yoga. So someone will come in on during the bingo and conduct like a little mini yoga session. And with that, we'll hand out invitations to a yoga session, an actual yoga session. 2 weeks from that day, we'll pick a venue and we'll do yoga for seniors, which I think is something that they would appreciate. And we'll do different things like gardening, cooking, all kinds of different things. Now, with that being said, we picked the day of September 10th to hold a Homer Senior Expo, and it's in preliminary stages right now. We need to conduct, or contact Homer Junior High to get approval, and my goal is each speaker and or person that comes into the senior bingo events and conducts something, something 2 weeks afterwards, they'll be part of the expo amongst maybe other people that want to participate. And my goal is to have seniors from throughout all of Homer Township, maybe anyone else that wants to come. And the whole idea would be to showcase businesses in Homer Township that promotes the seniors. So that would be the ultimate goal for that. And going forward, we're talking about doing a Christmas party. That's something that we're going to talk about as we go on. I want to have I want it to become a big extravaganza for the seniors and show them that Homer Township cares. That's my goal. And throughout the process, I've tried to limit the expense to the seniors. Up to this point, all they've had to pay for is the bingo cards. In terms of food and what have you, they haven't had to pay anything, and they've been very pleased. We've been getting about 55 to 60 seniors at each senior bingo event, which I think is a great success, and we expect to grow from there. And Homer Glen and the library are going to we're going to combine forces and make it one bingo event, and it will be run by the township with their assistance. And I think as time goes on, it's going to be a huge success, and there'll be a lot to be talked about as time goes on. So that's all I really have to say.
How about Valentine's?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's one thing I forgot to mention. So at the February 8th bingo, we're going to make an announcement, or we're going to pass out invitations to all the seniors that attend, and we will expand the invitation to other seniors as well. We're going to have a Valentine's Day luncheon at Blueberry Hill. We're going to have a limited menu. The cost of the meal to the seniors, we haven't really discussed it yet, but from what I understand, it's going to be $0. We're going to get the Blueberry Hill is actually going to finance a portion of the meal, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach out to different corporations in the area, see if they're willing to contribute any money to the event, and or the township will also help out as well. And so it'll be a net $0 for the seniors to pay, and it'll give them a chance, and we'll make it a little festive for them, a Valentine's Day event, and so they'll have free food. And I'd like to probably maybe reach out to maybe Will County Sheriff or someone to come and maybe give them a little speech and talk about safety and what have you. So that's something that we're putting together right now. So the day will be February 14th on Valentine's Day at noontime at Blueberry Hill for all seniors. Thank you.
And the next committee's truck enforcement. I think that that's kind of in a stalemate right now.
Yeah.
So,
So I've been in contact with the Tamerlan Drive neighborhood. I get messages from them all the time. As you remember, we had a meeting, was it back in November?
It was November.
In this room with all of the local agencies, and we coordinated what to do with Tamerlan Drive. They have a problem with crossover traffic, cuts through their street from Smith Road to Archer. It includes lots of cars, but more importantly, lots of trucks. There's no sidewalks in the subdivision, so obviously the kids have to walk down the street to get where they're going, and that's not where they should be. So the sheriff's office is the only agency I did not coordinate with, and I'm going to coordinate with them, and as soon as that's over, I'm going to make a decision on how I'm going to treat this. Some of the options that we threw out were street calming, which is, I don't know if you've seen them before, where they have islands out in the middle of the street. You have to drive around it to go down the street. I think there's a few of those in Homer Glen. They have some barrier islands that are options. They have pork chop islands at the entrances, and they have the one that I like, which is a dead end, which is a sod creek treatment where you can drive over the grass onto the street, but most people see grass, they don't drive on it with their car. Shh, don't tell anybody. But it's coordinated with the fire department, so they know that they can drive on it, and it's structurally sound from underneath, so it can support the weight of the fire truck. But once I make that decision, I'm going to meet again with the residents, and I'm going to see what they think. I have gotten, the majority of the residents I talked to like the dead end option, but there were some recently that contacted me over the holidays that do not like it. So to be fair to everybody, I want to vet it out with the residents out there, and then once they decide what they like, we'll have a follow-up meeting with the agencies to coordinate with them, and then we're gonna do the build-out on whatever it is in 2022. So that's kind of where we're at with that street's truck problem. That's one street only. That's it.
Okay. And the next thing is Land Identification Committee, and I know Angela's on it, and Mark, and Carm, and we really haven't met or anything, because we're kind of like, right now, last month, we voted to go out and find an assessor and a surveyor to look at some of the properties that we have that we can sell. And when I was out doing my rounds, looking at our property, I found somebody was encroaching on some of our property, and so I contacted our attorney, wrote them a letter, and they're in the process of moving off our property. But we're gonna put up fencing on the Trantina farm, because we talked about building an event center there, and that's what's gonna happen. So we have to have lines there that we know where we're at. So that's being surveyed, and then there's 3 pieces of land that are being surveyed, and then we're getting them appraised, and we've been having trouble getting an appraiser company to come out. So, you know, I don't know what's gonna happen. We got one person so far, and I hate to just do it with one person. So, Carmen Morella, who's on the committee, and myself, we're gonna meet with a couple realtors and talk to them about what they think it's worth, just so we have an idea. And in the meantime, we're still looking for an appraisal, because I think by law we have to have an appraisal, right?
We do, yes.
And so unless we get an appraiser, there's only one person so far, and I hate to use one person.
And we may be able to help too,
Okay.
because we use, you know, Liz in our office does the property tax appeals.
Oh,
And so we defend the municipalities, the townships, the school districts. So she has 2 or 3 appraisers that we use.
but that's good, then we'll be set.
Yeah, so I'll make a note, I'll get you those names.
Perfect.
All right?
And we got 2 surveyors. We didn't get 3, but we got 2. And they all say it's too big a job for them. So whether that's the case or not, I don't know, but.
I can help you out with a list of those.
Pardon me?
I can help you out with a list of those if you need more.
Yeah, we want to get 3 at least.
Mhm.
So we're in the process of that, and hopefully we get it done soon, because if things go well, we can sell some of that land that's just sitting. Doesn't do anybody any good to have just a bunch of land that nobody uses. So we're working on it. So that's kind of where that is. And then I talked with Angela, and I don't know if we're going to do it or not, but there's a thing called Safe Cities, and New Lenox has it, and some other places have it. Maybe I'm using the wrong name. Am I using the wrong name?
No, that's right. He said, is that true? And I said, it is.
Yeah, but I didn't, you know, I didn't move forward. I just mentioned it to Angela if she's interested, because that's kind of the thing she should be an expert at. Because she has skills that other people don't have for stuff like this. That's why I put her talking to the school district. So when you have talented people, you put them where their talents are. And that's where our talent is. But as of right now, we're not doing anything with it, but we may be. So I just want to give everybody a heads up. If she wants to, then we would. If not, then maybe we do it with somebody else, or we don't do it at all. I don't know. But we'll figure it out. So then we'll move on to the accounting. I need a motion to approve all payment of bills for December 2021, Founders Crossing Bond, Founders Crossing General, General Assistance, Open Space, Park Developer Contribution, Park, Town, Road and Bridge, and Equipment and Building.
I'll motion.
I'll second the motion.
I'll take a roll call. Trustee Bonomo?
Aye.
Trustee Conley?
Yes.
Trustee Adolph?
Yes.
Trustee Rivera?
Yes.
Supervisor Ballage?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you.
Okay, there's no new business, and there's no old business. I just want to remind everybody that the township cut about $267,000 out of the levy, so your property taxes from the township is going to go way, way down, and it's not just from giving Homer Glen the parks. we cut money out of every single fund, every one. So your taxes will go down, you guys can smile. And
Sorry,
with
you guys
that,
forgive me.
there's no old business, we need motion.
No, before you go, can I say a word?
Yes,
I just
our
want-
lawyer.
I want to introduce myself. I don't know that I've met everybody, but I'm Bert Odelson, here filling in for Ross tonight, and Mike Hayes. So Mike Hayes is a senior partner at the firm also. I also do Worth Township and Naperville Township. Mike does Riverside Township. Yeah,
Lions sometimes.
in the Lions Township, right. So we come with steeped in the township law. We're helping Ross out tonight. You may see one of us at the next few meetings, but we all, tomorrow morning, call Ross and tell Ross, well, we gotta do a check for Blueberry Hill, we gotta do some appraisers.
I got some more for you.
Yeah.
No, you don't get off that easy. That's what this is. This is.
Glad I came there. That's good. So I just wanted to introduce myself and my case.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you all. Nice to meet you all.
Welcome. Welcome.
And I know that they're all good lawyers.
Thank you. And we represented Homer Glen for, how long was David here? 8 years.
8 years.
8 years. So,
Returns.
yeah. Yeah.
So do we get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, motion carries.